you know, like the country's sick, but I still like to eat, and I'm gonna have my pastrami sandwich no matter what.
It's definitely different because I'm used to seeing a bunch of people inside here. It's normally like a crowded place.
I don't think anyone in their right mind expected this type of summer. I don't think anyone was ready for 2020. We don't like change. We fear change a little bit here. We like to preserve our old traditions. You know, during normal times, I would say we could see anywhere from 400 to about 4,000 customers in a given day. We're obviously not seeing that these days. We're just seeing people leaving the city. We're lucky if we see 100 customers in a day now. And when people don't have money in their pockets and there's no influx of foreign cash and there's no help from the government, it's a lethal combination. If you go back all the way to the 1880s through today, in that time we've seen a different pandemic, a couple world wars, a couple depressions, a couple recessions, every imaginable world crisis. Listen, I can't speak to the world wars or the first pandemic, but I can speak to the crises that I've seen over my tenure here. This is different. You know, in my lifetime, I can't ever think of a single incident that has unilaterally impacted every single person in the world at the same time. We've been open since day one. All 200 employees are still working here. We've been able to not lay anyone off through a couple of different things, one of which is shipping throughout the country. Send a salami to your boy in the Army is our slogan since World War II. It started because the owner at that time had 3 sons serving overseas, and Grandma was just afraid they weren't eating particularly well. You know, those government rations weren't so great.
Send a salami to your boy in the Army.
And since then, we've figured out how to sell other items, pastrami's and mustards and soups, knishes, latkes, and doing that has really allowed us to offset some of our losses.
For the first time in 133 years, we're doing outdoor dining.
As far as we're aware, there was no outdoor seating at any time. That includes during the first pandemic. Come over here and you order sandwiches. Because of the pandemic, we've had to create a line around and promote social distancing. And you could tell it's a little different now, right? And screaming and the energy and the chaos when there's 300 people in the store. Now we kind of limit it to about 15, 20 customers at a time.
I mean, I'd love to sit down just because sitting here is part of the experience, just watching everyone and like seeing the tourists come in and kind of being shell-shocked. Still, everything here, the guys and everything like that, that hasn't changed.
You know, the camaraderie with the people, the connection with the public, I think that's the biggest change.
In many ways, I'm just a Jewish grandmother. I just want to feed people. And having people be able to let me do that is great. Feed the Frontlines is helping us through the orders that they're able to give us, and they're able to pay for those orders in a way that allows us to pay for the staff to keep working. You know, very early on in the pandemic, in helping to feed healthcare workers, frontline workers. If you think about our slogan, send a salami to your boy in the Army, well, you don't need to send it very far. You know, our soldiers are located 20 blocks away, you know, and they needed our help.
More and more now, as the crisis has shifted away from the hospitals, we've also been supporting Katz's in feeding New Yorkers who are increasingly food insecure. I don't think anyone really knows what's next for the restaurant industry. We want to keep giving them a lifeline and keep making sure that places like Katz's can keep their people employed.
Hopefully we'll be here another 132 years, and if some future pandemic, they'll look back at this tape and say, wow, it was exactly the same then.